Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis of oil and natural gas. The companies are looking pretty strong for the most part. It looks like we're split. Crude oil up, natural gas down a little bit. And I'll give you my opinions here, and let's get straight to it. So crude oil moving on higher, up 3.2%, almost up to $114 a barrel. Looking at this from kind of a longer term perspective, we went all the way up to 129. We came on back in a consolidation period. Looks like we're trying to break higher here. It looks really good. On a longer term time perspective, we can look back and we're trying to break this resistance of this previous trading range. I think we'll break it at some point. I don't know the exact timing, and rocket higher. I do think it will be soon. So I don't know if we have a ton of time to accumulate a whole bunch more shares, and hopefully you've already been accumulating. That was my stance on the website for the Platinum members. You know that over the past few months that we could be coming into a nice strong period of oil prices and natural gas prices. So that looks really good. Natural gas, we got a little bit of the wicks on the top here. Usually what that means is we could potentially see a pullback. But I will say this, that is a statistical probability, not a for sure outcome. A lot of people, they take technical analysis and they apply it like it's 100% outcomes. It's not. No one knows the immediate future. And what we do, or what I do, I should say, is I position for outcomes. I position and I hedge my position with time. Would I buy up here with the wicks at the top? Probably not. I'd be looking for a pullback. Will we get the pullback? You might not. That's the thing. So I have positions already established, and I'm waiting and hoping for a pullback. Will that hope matter? It doesn't matter. The market doesn't care what I hope. The market will do what it's going to do. I've already positioned, and I'm just hoping that I can position a little bit more in some of these companies if I get the chance. I'm already very well positioned, though. Now, XOP, yeah, you know me, you get it. We kind of broke out of this little resistance line, and we're doing a little bit of a run. Got a little wick at the top, and I don't know if that matters that much, but it looks pretty good. Crude oil looks good too, so this could run a big amount if crude runs too. SM Energy breaking out, 46.41, guys. Yeah, that's doing well for the portfolio. This is my biggest position by a long shot, just because I overweighted it so early. I did look at one of the positions. This is 62% of my entire portfolio because it's gone up so much. I just looked at one of them that I don't look too much in, but it's moving higher. This thing looks absolutely fantastic. Look at this big candlestick here. This for sure, I mean, it looks like to me, and this is a breakout of this area here. And usually what happens is you come up to the resistance line, you hit your head on it, you wait a little bit and pause a couple months, then you break to the upside. Looks really good, and hopefully they can continue to deliver on what they've promised to their shareholders as a company, and we could see a big old move higher from here. CDEV, another company I like a lot, moving on higher. Yeah, they had a merger. We had some Strategic Petroleum Reserve releases, but I do think this company will do just fine. Crew Energy also getting a little bit of a selling pressure. It's more of a natural gas company. We could pull back a little bit. We may not. In the short term, guys, I really don't like the short-term predictions, but I could tell you this. We broke out of this pattern here. It launched, and we're starting to move higher. Looks good. CPE, Callum Petroleum, moving on higher. This is one that I did like. I do like this company. We are up against this resistance line. It's a zone. It's really, the bottom one is the white line, and the top is a resistance line, depending on where you look at it. And we're kind of bouncing back and forth. Once we break out of this, I think we're going to see a big move. Athabasca Oil, I think it was down a little bit today, a little bloody nose. But looks fine, guys. Looks all right. And we're sitting above support. Recaf, just getting a little bit of a selling pressure day to day. It looks like it's trying to muster up some strength to move higher. CPG moving on up. It's broken out of that top resistance line through here. We've broken out of that, so we may come back and do a retest. We may not. But big picture view, it looks really good to move higher. Looks fantastic. I really like it. Northern Oil and Gas is putting in a fat bullish candlestick on the monthly candlestick basis, guys. This is looking really, really bullish, breaking up higher. Looks good. GTE, a little bit of update today. Maybe it pulls back, maybe it doesn't. Really depends on oil. If oil moves higher, I think all these are going to move higher. Tellurian, moving sideways. Pedevco, moving sideways. Oasis is moving on up, looking good. CRK getting a little bit of a wick at the top, still looking good. I wish we could get a pullback here, guys. The markets don't care about my wishes. Sandridge moving higher. This is at all-time highs, I believe, or really close to it. So here's a closing. Yeah, it's at all-time highs for closing. If we can close this month where it's at, that'd be an all-time high. And then we could see another run again. This is going to be real bullish, guys. That looks really good. Ring Energy right at the support resistance line, trying to break up above it. You get stuck here, don't worry about it. Pick up your shares because it's stuck, and then when it breaks release, when it releases, nice big moves. Surge Energy, a little bit of a down day. I know it's a little frustrating sometimes to have a down day with oil moving higher, but still looks good. Tamarack Valley Energy, above that support line, breaking higher. That's a bullish engulfing right here. That looks good. We may pull back a little bit in the short term, but still looks good. Crescent Energy moving slightly lower. Vermilion Energy right above on its support resistance line. That looks really good. Meg Energy up there too. We've got oil. VanEck Oil Services moving higher today. Looks real strong. TTI is continuing. Tetra Technology is continuing to rip it higher. Rig moving up a little bit. We've got a little bit of a resistance kind of through this zone there, but we'll break that. Pump. Looks like the buyers are coming in and getting a little bit of support here. Hopefully we can move on up. At some point, EXTN pulling back above support. Valaris getting a little bit of resistance up here. This is a support line and a resistance line, and we'll break that and move on up. That looks good. MMA Offshore getting the buying pressure. Looks really good to move on higher. Tidewater moving on higher. That looks good. NEX. Next year, Oilfield Solutions we're right on that resistance line here. We're just getting into that resistance. So we're stuck in the short term here. KLXC is looking real good. I like that nice big pattern here, and it's a big double bottom pattern. That looks good. CHX, another one that's just coiling on up. Cactus Energy breaking off support, breaking higher. That looks good. 9 moving on up. Hopefully we can break out of this little congestion zone and start moving. OII bouncing off support higher. That looks good. Noble breaking higher. That looks really good. Up to 52-week or all-time highs. Helix Energy Solutions, a little bit of selling pressure. CGGYY moving on up a little bit. Petrofac getting a little bit of rollover here, but there's good buying pressure. That's what the wicks are at the bottom. Diamond Offshore getting some buying pressure, moving higher. On the website, I actually released saying I bought it that day, and you could have bought it right when I did the next day as well. I bought 2 times on the website. And then we got a split in the coal area, but overall, guys, oil and natural gas look really strong. Probably the strongest and best of any of the sectors that I watch. Shipping looks really good too. Shipping looks really good. So if you guys are interested in attending a question and answer session at 5 p.m. Saturday, Mountain Standard Time, Platinum membership on the website. If you go, you can join the Zoom call, do the question and answer session. You can ask me all sorts of questions. You can ask me, what companies do I like the best? Why do I like those companies? What do the technical chart patterns mean? If you were to buy 5 companies, what would those companies be right now? if you you could ask all sorts of stuff. Do I think a recession's coming? Do the overall markets, are they helping our stocks, and all those questions? And I'll be free to answer whatever you want. Or how do I hold through these gigantic pullbacks? What do I do? And most of the time, guys, I'll be honest, when you guys get really scared and you're selling, that's usually when I start to buy. And some of the companies, I go in there and I swoop them up. I let you guys know on the website what companies I'm buying, what I'm looking at. Remember, I have a portfolio that's filled with things, and I'm trying to either expand it out or beef up positions. And sometimes I beef up the ones I'm a little bit lighter on. It may be different for your portfolios depending on what you own and what you have. So it's highly dependent. And stock selection is highly important for returns. I mean, highly important. There are companies that I'm releasing on the website that are cash cows. There are some that are a little bit more, riskier, a little more exploration development type stuff, which I think is also good to have in the portfolio. So you want a good round portfolio with all sorts of, cash cows where they're bringing in cash like mad. I'd say mostly the oil and natural gas sector they're going to be huge cash cows. Uranium's more speculative. So you want to weight things a little bit different. You want to look at some of these companies. You want to look at some of the energy service companies that could potentially be cash cows that are turning around. All of that means something when setting up a portfolio, and it will highly impact your risk and your rewards. And you want for sure returns. That's what you really want to capture. So hopefully you're overweighting the right companies. And if you're on the website, you know which companies I think to overweight. I've identified some of these future cash cows. And I think that we could see potentially some big moves coming up over the next 5-10 years. Big moves. Very big. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you want to. We'll see you at the Zoom meeting if you're on the website, Platinum member. If not, I videotape it and you guys can see it later. But yeah, we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.